I hit a wall in my pursuit of creating my own animated film and my own animation. As you can see, in all the animation I made, the art style is always stick figures, which seems quite limiting for me. So I think the next step for creating better animation is to draw better. That's why I took a pause on animation and I focused on developing my art style. I looked up on YouTube on how to get better and I gained working methods that I will give you in this video. So the first thing most artists say is the most important to get better at drawing is to get better at observation drawing. So it's when you draw with a model and you need to look at it to replicate exactly what you see on your paper. It's a skill which makes you learn how to see what's in front of you. It's the most important skill. Once you're good at observation drawing, you can pass to what I would call memory drawing. When seeing an expert draw with memory drawing, it gives the impression that they can draw without reference and create whatever they want. In fact, they can create whatever they want, but they are using models that they have studied in their observation drawing sessions. They are reusing these models to draw good memory drawings and create whatever they want. For example, if you wanted to draw from memory without having studied the model, you would probably draw something very simplified that looks like a child's drawing. Because when you're a kid, you tend to simplify what you see and create models for those and keep them when you're an adult. So that's why you can think that you're drawing bad from memory, but it's just that you're using the models that you've created when you were a kid and the models you didn't really work on. So for example, if you ask someone to draw the sun, they will probably make a circle and lines around it, which is a very common simplified models we made when we were kids. So you just have to work on those models to get better. So if you have studied the sun before by observing it, your drawing of the sun from memory will be much better, simply because your mental model will be much better. This principle works for everything. That's why it will take some time to be able to draw anything from your imagination. In the manga industry, for example, the drawers are specialized. Some draw the background, some the characters, because they want to be the best at what they do. Personally, I'm going to concentrate on learning how to draw different characters because they are at the center of my animations. There are a lot of subjects I need to observe, starting with the members of the body, the face, and its emotions. A subject which is considered very difficult. Now, I'm going to tell you the method I applied to work on this subject. First, to improve your observation skills in drawing, you should take a model that you like, that you wish to draw. For example, I'm going to take this model from the Berserk character Guts, because I love this manga and I think the art is very beautiful. Then you're going to try to copy this character the most precisely. I did my first drawing. Once you're finished, you're going to write 3 qualities and 3 negative aspects about your drawing, and you will create an exercise to improve each of those negative aspects. Here, for my guts drawing, I chose to work on drawing straighter lines for the sword and on improving the proportion of the body, which were the 2 negative aspects I found. I did an exercise where I just drew straight lines a lot to practice, and another one where I took the character and put simple shapes on it to have good proportions. Once you are finished with your exercise, go back to the reference and try to draw it again. This time I made the shapes first for the proportion, and then I concentrated on making better straight lines, and most importantly, I took my time. You should really take your time because drawing is fun and it takes time to enjoy. You will also learn more if you take your time. This one took 4 hours to make and this is the result. I was very happy with it. You will be very happy too and see a huge difference between your 2 drawings because you will have worked specifically on their flows. To resume, first, you take the reference you like, you copy it, you look at the copy you made, you find 3 negative aspects and 3 qualities, then you find 3 exercises for each negative aspect. Then you retry and you compare what you made with your first drawing. Once you're good at observation drawing, you can work on memory drawing skills. The second method is the one you can follow to work on your memory drawing skills. First, you're going to take your reference like before and you're going to draw it by trying to understand how it works and putting it in different situations. The goal is to create a mental reference that you will be able to reuse later. This first step is the most crucial because it's where you form the image in your head. Here I took the frog from the comic Garofalo, which is a very good comic by the way. See, each time I take something I like because it's more enjoyable to draw. And then I try to understand how the head works, how the legs work. Once you're done with that, turn the page and without seeing the reference, try to imagine the frog in your head and draw it on the paper. Imagining the frog in different views will help. You see that when I put the frog Garolfo on the side, it's a bit more difficult for me to draw the head. I didn't study the reference well enough. So when you see that your created model is not as good as the reference, you can make mental model better and work on this aspect. Once you're done, you need to know how to draw it again without the reference on the paper or on your phone, but with the reference in your head. That's how it works and how great artists work. If you want to know how to draw a lot of things, you need to understand how this thing works, what they are made of. There is lots of objects you already know about with your daily life. I hope you enjoyed this video. I made a video which is more direct. I hope it's not too messy. Follow along the journey and I hope you learned something today. I also hope you will be inspired and have an example of how you can work. See you!